Welcome to day 1 of Kick My Asana Challenge with Melanie Dawn. Grab your mat and let's go. We'll start our practice in a seated meditation, cross-legged, comfortable. If you need a pillow or a block underneath your hips, that can help to alleviate strain that happens in flexors, the quads, bringing the hips just slightly higher than the elevation of the knees. And if you're comfy where you are and you have the option, you feel safe, you can start to close your eyes. Maybe bring your thumbs to heart center, palms in prayer, and a gentle tucking of the chin towards the chest, creating a nice long spine, lots of length through the back body, heaviness through lower body. And beginning to acknowledge your breath, how it exists outside of conscious thinking, conscious doing. Breath just present every moment. Notice if there's any tension across your face that you could dissolve. Maybe using your next exhale. Let's start by taking left palm over top of the heart and right hand to low belly. If you are called to bring movement to the spine, maybe swirling the chest on top of the hips in a clockwise direction, followed by a counterclockwise direction. Coming back to center, find your stillness here. On your inhale, you will open your arms up shoulder height, bend through the elbows like a cactus. Big breath in as your chest expands, rib cage opens, elbows widen, shoulder height, arms are open, fingers are spread. Exhale, tuck the chin towards the heart. Bring right hand to heart, left hand to belly. On your breath in, arms widen, come out shoulder height. As fingers reach up towards the sky, cactus arms. Exhale, bringing hand to heart, hand to low belly. And following your breath, using your inhale to open up, expand, lift, become buoyant through the heart. Exhale to come back home to heart and low belly. Inhales to open. Exhales to contract. On your next exhale, you'll land at center and then spread the arms wide and apart at shoulder height. Arms are straight and the palms turn up. Hold. Continue to breathe fluidly, softening any tension locked in the shoulders, acknowledging any heat that's happening, breathing through it unless it's pain. And then turning your palms towards the ground, arms stay straight, reaching away from the shoulders. And remember that not all postures are required. None of them are. Whatever feels right in your body, whatever feels good to you is what you do. Using your next emptied breath, you'll interlace your fingers at the low back. So the palms are touching and the fingers are interlocked. You'll draw your shoulder blades nice and tight to your spine and then drive your fingers down and back. So they might even brush along the floor surface. Starting to reach away from the body, elbows are straight, shoulder blades hug spine, and the fronts of the shoulders are open. Breath is landing into low belly, spine continues to climb tall. And then you'll unwrap the fingers and take the opposite wrap. So index finger that was in front last wrap will go behind this one. It'll feel really odd and weird, so you'll know you're in it. And then continue to drive knuckles of the fingers down towards the earth as you bring your shoulder blades closer towards the spine, thinking about the muscles that are engaging in the back body so that the heart can open and the shoulders can have space. And then releasing the bind, bring your arms out front and take right arm under left arm as opposite hand grabs for opposite shoulder. Give yourself a big hug. And start to trace your elbows without moving the hips or knees or anything. Trace your elbows over to the left side. Using a nice long breath to guide you, inhale to center. And exhale over to the other side. Back through center. Breath in. Exhale, tracing elbows to the left. Noticing where anything in the low body is tense. If you could just find more weight there. Soften the muscles as you come back through center. And slow rotation over to the other side. Coming back through center. Arms will widen. Reach out shoulder height. And then opposite arm crosses over the heart. Take another big hug. Rotate the sternum and trace your elbows over to the left. Heavy seat, soft shoulders, soft face. Inhale to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhales through center. And exhales to twist. Core is taut and strong. Landing back at center. No rush to get there. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And an exhale, twisting the rib cage to the left and dropping left hand behind you. Right hand, right knee. Right hand, left knee. Grow tall with your inhale. Hold the twist. Exhale to deepen it. Next, in-breath takes you back through center, arms above head. Exhale, twisting to the right. Right hand lands behind right hip. And left hand crosses over for right knee. Breath in to grow tall. Holding the twist, exhaling to deepen the twist. Come back through center with your breath in. Exhale, thumbs through heart center. Exactly where we started. We'll make our way over onto all fours so that the wrists are underneath the shoulders and knees are underneath the hips. And it's okay if you need to pad your knees for this as well. You could use a thinner pillow or chip foam block or blocks if you have it. We'll move through cat-cow, wrist issues. You could use your fists and press those down into the earth. From all fours, use your in-breath to drop your belly, lift your crown, and widen through the sit bones. And exhale to round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tail, squeeze every last drop of breath out. Inhales to fill up. Exhales to drop the belly and squeeze breath out. Maybe closing your eyes if you have the space in your practice and the safety in your space to do so. And this last breath here, full cycle of breath. Empty out. Big toes will come in together to touch, knees slightly wider than where they are right now. Sink your hips back towards your heels if you have that space. You can use a pillow between heels and bum. If there is a lot of space there, it's not too comfortable. Giving some support to the back of the thighs, and then you'll walk your hands forward, dropping the heart towards the earth, child's pose. If you have tight shoulders, you may want to widen your elbows and walk the hands back slightly. And take nice big sips of breath in here. The center of the forehead has a spot that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, so relaxes and restores the body. You can let the forehead get really heavy there. We're moving into more of an active posture flow. So preparing yourself with your breath. Don't lose your breath. Stay in your breath. That's the biggest part of your practice. Your hands are planted where they are. Knees are going to come in slightly to hug to center. So as you inhale, you're going to bring your hips up and press your heart forward. As you exhale, drop your hips down towards the earth. Push your heart between your upper arms, upward facing dog. You'll feel a lot of openness, or could feel a lot of openness across the chest here. Pressing down into the palms so that you're not dumping into the shoulders. Chin is slightly tucked towards the throat, nice and strong. This is your upward facing dog. On your inhale, you'll come back through center. Probably feels better with an exhale, actually. And drop into your closed-kneed child's pose. So the knees are hugged nice and tight, but arms are still reaching forward. Now, with an inhale, rise up, upward dog. Press the heart through the upper arms, drop the hips down, keep the chin tucked. And exhale back into your closed-kneed child's pose. If this flow is not for you, feel free to stay in either upward dog or child's pose. And if you are flowing, follow your breath. Which breath feels right when you go into each posture? And we'll take 3 more cycles of breath here. And landing back into closed-kneed child's pose with the modification of arms reaching forward. Fill the belly with breath. Empty it out. See if you can sink deeper into your posture. Next, exhale. On your inhale, lift your heart slightly and trace your left arm under your right armpit. Bring your left ear and left shoulder down to the ground as you turn left palm up. Use your inhale to come back through center. Left palm reaches forward, right arm reaches under, right ear and shoulder to the ground, and turning your right palm up. Focused on breath and body sensation. If the shoulders are tight, maybe a bend through the elbow. Inhale back through center. Exhale, reaching both hands forward, tucking the toes. And an inhale to rise, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, the hips come up, belly button presses towards the thighs, heart travels towards the thighs. Nice long tail all the way through to the crown of the head. Soft bend through the knees. A lift up of the bum. Heart pressing back all the way towards the thighs. Jaw is soft. And you have the option to bend through each knee, creating an openness on each side, alternating back and forth. Connecting with your breath through the shift in perception. Noticing any thought patterns, any feelings that are coming up, attaching to physical sensation. If there's any pain anywhere, modifying, altering, adjusting, exiting the posture at any time. Still maintaining steady, smooth breath as big toes travel to center. Left leg lifts up. And a bend through the knee, kicking the sole of your left foot over to the right side of your mat. So the left hip flexor is nice and open. There's lots of space between left thigh, and belly. And now paying attention what happens here, because typically we start to dump into the right shoulder. See if you can bring weight back into the left shoulder. And this body that I'm working with is fairly new to me. I've just coming back from healing and recovering and quite stiff. So you'll see it in me as well. I'll be mirroring that if that's you. And I'll be taking your mirror if you're at a much more advanced space than me. Continue to lift the knee. Use your breath in to power. And then exhale to step that left foot all the way forward to the top of the mat. You may need to use your hand to get it there. That's okay. Press down through your front foot. Roll onto the ball of the back foot. Heel is high, like you're wearing a high heel. And then sink a little deeper into the front knee as you stack vertebra upon vertebra, coming up into your crescent lunge. Arms reach overhead. Palms turn towards each other, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Continuing to draw sternum towards the back body. Next exhale, dropping a little deeper if you have it. Next empty, the shoulders are the hands will drop shoulder height. You're still facing forward. So it's as though you have wings. Fingers are reaching away from shoulders. Palms are down. And then turning palms up towards the sky, hands no higher than shoulders. Staying strong through the legs. Acknowledging any warmth or heat. Breathe in, arms reach up. Exhale, opening up your two. Back heel drops down. Front knee stays driving forward, so you should be able to still see your big toe there. Sinking a little bit deeper. Shoulders over top of hips. Taking a nice breath in. As you exhale, turning your front palm up towards the sky, dropping your back hand, and reversing your warrior. Left fingertips start to trace towards the ceiling. Come back through warrior two. Palms turn up towards the sky. Breath in. And turn back down towards the earth. Now we'll roll forward. So hands will windmill down to the top of your mat, framing your front foot. And the back heel again rises as you roll onto the ball of the back foot. This is a low runner's lunge. From the low runner's lunge, we'll power down through the left foot and kick the back foot up, standing split. Right heel is angled up towards the sky. Baby toe is looking down at your mat. Heart is trying to kiss the knee somewhere along the way. Head can be heavy, and you can use your hands for support, or they can wrap your ankle or the back of your thigh, whatever you're working with in your balanced posture today. Stay here or work with strong core, strong shoulders, and start to lift the hands away from your mat and extend them straight out in front of you, warrior three. Come back down, standing split. Fill up with air. And exhale, step your right foot forward. Find your forward fold, Uttanasana. Uttanasana, take 2 breaths here. Soft belly, soft neck, soft jaw. Softening the knees, planting both palms down onto the ground. You'll take a big step back to find plank, high plank. Pressing down through the knuckle mounds of the hands. Strong belly. Firm your grip with your left hand. Roll onto the outside arch of your left foot. Option to drop inside knee down for a modified side plank. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Right hip lifting, arcing away from the ground. Strong and steady breath. Right hand comes back down to the earth. High plank. Downward facing dog. Big toes to center. Right heel comes up. And right foot is kicking now over to left side of the mat, 3-legged dog. Finding big space between right thigh, right belly. Anchoring back down into the right shoulder. Still pressing heart to thigh. Steady and strong breath, not held breath or short breath. Modify if you need. Your breath is your guide. The words are inspiration. On your exhale, take your right knee to your heart and float your foot to the top of your mat. Right foot touches down top side of the mat. Back foot rolls onto the ball of the foot. Heel comes high. Strong, firm belly as the spine stacks on top of the hips. Shoulders soften as hands rise towards the ceiling of wherever you are, or the sky if you happen to be outside. I am so jealous. Taking deep breaths in as you set up into your crescent lunge. On your next empty, the arms will drop out shoulder height, palms are looking down. Balanced posture, stira through the legs, strong and steady. Sukha, jaw, shoulders soft. Palms turn up. And then from there, we'll just use this palms turned up and an inhale to bring the hands up nice and high above the shoulders. And then they're already in position facing one another. Crescent lunge again. Dropping your back heel, opening up warrior 2. Gaze travels over front index, middle finger. Front knee tracking big toe. You can see it. Lots of downward pressure into the outside arch of your back leg, strong back leg. Front palm flips. And backhand drops as your right fingertips sweep up and over for reverse warrior. Come back through warrior 2. We'll turn both palms up towards the sky. Windmill both hands down to the top side of your mat. Low runner's lunge, high on the ball of the back foot. And then pressing down through the right foot, you'll lift your left leg high to the sky. Heel up, baby toe down, closed hip. So closed hip. Hip is trying to anchor itself towards the floor. Option to balance here. Hand around ankle, back of the calf, back of the thigh. Or using it like a tripod stand, both hands down on your mat. If you'd like to go on to the Warrior 3 variation, strong belly, reaching hands forward, bringing the hands level with back body. Slow, long breath. It's okay if you fall out. I'll probably fall out 1,000,000 times this challenge. You just watch me. If you are in your Warrior 3, hands come back down to the earth. Standing split. And then you'll step your left leg forward into a fold. Heavy heart, heavy head. Soft belly. Most of the weight in the front of the foot, but still a connection through the heel, a tipping of the tail up towards the sky. And it could be a nice bend in the back of the knees, especially if you have tight hamstrings, and it just makes you strong. Tightness is not ever a negative at all in this practice. It is just a symptom of something else that's happening, as is being very flexible. It's another symptom of something that's happening. And then from your forward fold, you'll take a big step back into your high plank. And from high plank, rooting into the right hand, rolling onto the outside of the right foot, and reaching left hand up and away from left shoulder socket. So straight out of the socket and away from the floor. Creating a lift through the left hip. Option to always come back to plank if this isn't reasonable for you or your shoulders are not taking this well. Rolling back out into plank and pressing up into downward facing dog. Hips are high, heart presses towards thighs. Nice long line from tail to wrists. And then we'll softly drop the knees down to your mat. And the hips will stay stacked over top of the knees here for heart melting pose. To get your heart down towards the mat, you'll walk your hands forward. And this is not for everyone. If you have any shoulder injuries, you're going to really have to listen to your body here. If you don't have shoulder injuries, you should be able to walk your fingertips forward. And as you do, drop your heart down to your mat, keeping hips stacked, and then softening forehead down to the ground. If you have a lot of space there, you can try turning your gaze towards the top side of the mat, but I'm telling you, my shoulders are screaming always in this posture. So I'll be gentle with my shoulders and walk my hands back slightly and take a bend through the elbows until I don't have that sensation of pain. Discomfort, okay. It's a general overall feeling. Pain is pinpointed. I can feel it. It's not right. It's not pushing me beyond into some greater depth of my practice. It's not. That's not what it's telling me. It's telling me this. I'm not ready for this here. So always listening to your body as you take the last long, slow breaths here. And you have the option to stay in heart melting posture or to move forward into one last upward facing dog or baby cobra. Upward facing dog. Heart presses through upper arms. And pelvis falls towards the earth. Crown is tall. And then coming from upward facing dog, taking yourself back through heart melting pose. And then we'll come up onto all fours and turn around so that we can get onto our back bodies. And here it is, the finale, just twisting it out at the end. Nice, long, quiet Shavasana to look forward to. You can hug your knees in over top of your heart here and take a deep breath in. I call this a hallelujah breath. Breathing all the way in. And then as you exhale, let your arms part out shoulder height and drop your knees over to the left. So you're coming into a nice spinal twist. The nice thing about these spinal twists is that they also are really great for opening up shoulders, freeing up the upper body, where we tend to hold a lot of our weight and carry things around with us. You can keep your gaze upward here, or you can turn it over your right shoulder and bring this twist all the way up into the cervical spine. If your knees aren't laying on top of each other like you want them to perfectly, it just maybe not right now, maybe some tightness through the back body yet to be worked through, but you can take a pillow and place it in between the knees to support so that you can still soften the muscles and relax into the posture. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. And your next inhale will bring you back through center, knees over top of the heart. You'll likely have to shimmy a little bit. I'm sure your tailbone is not perfectly in line with the spine anymore. So bringing the tailbone perfectly back in line. You'll fill up with breath. And exhale, let the knees drop over to the right side. Left shoulder stays firmly rooted down into your mat. Gaze can stay upward focused or turning over left shoulder. Option to block underneath the bottom leg, knee, pillow between the knees, eyes open or closed. Long breath. We'll take 3 more complete cycles here. Thinking about engaging your core, bringing the knees slowly back through center, wrapping the hands around the shins, drawing your forehead in towards your knees as you fill up with breath, squeezing lots of tension into the body. Hold your breath at the top. And a big empty release into Shavasana. Create a cozy and supported shape for yourself as you go into your final resting posture. Option to put a pillow underneath the backs of the thighs to support the low back. To spread the heels out even distance from midline. Turn the palms up to draw the shoulder blades into the spine. Lifting the heart slightly. A gesture of receiving. A tucking of the chin towards the throat to activate the throat chakra. And a final big empty out to land you into your rest. Please stay as long as you have in your Shavasana. I'll leave you here. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.